Hello friends and welcome to YouTube channel Freedom Tech, and in this session what we are going to learn. In this session I will share with you how you can create your own face recognition application with the help of Tkinter. I will share the full code and then I will share how you can convert that application into Setup.exe file. As simple as. So before we move to our practical friends, if you learned something from our videos, please consider to subscribe our channel. Okay friends, thank you so much and let's get started. So friends, as I mentioned, today I will share with you how to use face recognition application with the help of Tkinter. Then we are going to save the data, the attendance data inside our Excel sheet, and then we are going to create our CSV agent which we already create in last session. So we will use the Streamlit CSV agent application and we will upload that Excel file in our agent, and then we can use our agent to ask any queries related to our Excel sheet data. Simple. So let's get started. So for that, simply I will mention the link. You need to simply copy paste the link inside web browser. So this is what our repository, Tkinter Face Reco app. Go to the code, click on download zip, and it will download our zip format repository. So as you can see, we successfully downloaded. Now go to the downloads. This is what our repository. Right click, WinRAR, and extract as a folder name. So inside that we have again same folder. So final.py. So this is what our main code. So for that we need a packages. So go to the tools, manage packages, and search for OpenCV-Python. Hit enter. First package, click on install button, done. It will install OpenCV-Python. Then we need face recognition package. First package, click on install button, done. It will install face recognition. And then because we will read the CSV file, our Excel file, so for that we need pandas, and then hit enter. Pandas, first package, click on install button, done. It will install pandas on our Windows machine, done. So then Tkinter and hashlib and datetime is basically by default install. So we have done with packages. We installed CV2, OpenCV-Python, face recognition, and pandas package. Simple. So this is what our full code. So let me explain what basically we have in this application. So when we mentioned that we are going to create a application for login and logout with the help of face recognition, so first part is basically the register. So first part is register. So for that, this is how we import our packages, and then we are going to save the user images inside this folder. It will automatically create the folder. This is what our folder name, picture of people I know, and this folder is now represent this variable. So whenever I want to call the folder for some process, I will simply call the variable, then it will basically use of our folder. Simple. And then we are going to save register user data into CSV file, Excel CSV file. So register CSV file, this is just a variable, is equal to our CSV file name. And then we are going to save their activity, means login or logout activity, inside this login logout logs.csv file. For this file we have here log CSV file variable. So this is three variable, first for folder, then for register CSV file, and then for login logout dot logs.csv, login logout underscore logs.csv, a CSV file, Excel file, done. Now first we want to cross check if our folder is available or not. So if folder is not available, we are going to use os.makeDirs command, and inside that simple we will mention the variable and known face dir. It will create automatic our folder, automatic create a folder. Simple. So for that, this is the method, if not os.path.exit, and then simply mention the variable, folder variable, and os.makeDirs, and it will create the folder. Then we want a password. So we want a password in hash format. So for that we will create here a function which is hash password. So this function is basically password, object for password, and we will use here this hashlib, import hashlib. So return hashlib.sh8256 password.encode and hex digest. This is the method. Means when we mention the password, so we will basically use our alphabets, or we can say our numbers. So we mention the numbers or alphabet as a password, but it will convert this alphabet or number into a hash password using this function. Simple. Then first, as I mentioned, first method is basically register. So we will first create register user function. So inside that register user function we need also capture face, because we will save username and password entry along with their face. So for that, in def register user function we will mention here capture face function also. Done. So now then, when we want to register, of course first is name and next is password. So name is equal to name underscore entry dot get. Then simply this is how we will get the name, and then password is equal to password underscore entry dot get. This is how we will get our password using Tkinter application. Then here we will create the condition. So what is our condition? If not name or not password, as simple as if not name or not password, then we will create the message box. So for message box we use here from Tkinter import message box. So whenever we want to generate a message box, we will call this message box over here. So here it is, as you can see I have called it message box. So from this message box dot show error, and this is what our message box window which we will generate. So this is the name of that window, which is error, and this is the message we want to show. So window name, the box name, message box name, error, and this is the message. Name and password are required. As simple as name and password are required. Then we will return, and then now when user mention their name, their password, after that we want to convert that password into hash format. So for that, this is just a variable hash password. This hash password represent our hash password function, and inside that we want to mention password. So hash password, and this password variable we will mention as a object for user password. Done. So far so good. Now after that, for register we need user current date and current time. So now is equal to datetime dot now. Here we call our from datetime import datetime function, as simple as. So register date now is equal to datetime dot now. This is the basic method for calling our datetime. So now is equal to datetime dot now, and then register date, this is just a variable. Register date is equal to now dot strf time. This is how we basically call our date. So now dot strf time, and this is the format: year, month and date. This is the format. And then register time is equal to again now dot strf time, hours, minute and second. This is what our time format. Now we have done with register date and register time. Now simply, how do we want our data inside our Excel? So for that we will use our pandas method. So user data, it is just a variable. User data is equal to, from pandas we mention pd. So pd dot data frame. Means how do we want to mention data in frame. So this is the data frame. So this is how our data frame. So data frame is basically our user name, user password, user register date and user register time. So name, This name is basically this name variable, this name. We will get the name, so we will mention the name inside our Excel sheet, which is our data format. So this name, here name, then this hash password is this one, hash password, as you can see, hash password, and this register date is here, register date, and this register time is here, register time. So this is the format of our Excel. This is how we will save user register data in our Excel sheet. First it will name, then we will save the password in hash. So hash password, this variable hash password, then this register date variable, then this register time variable. As simple as. And then now this is, we can simply say this is what my row, this is what my row. Each user, we will get their name, their password, their register date, and their register time. So this is what my each user row in Excel format, in Excel sheet. Now the column name. So of course, if this is what my format, so name is also same, the column name is also same way. So columns is equal to name, only we will mention N capital. So name, then hash password, H capital, P capital, then register date, and then register time. This is what my Excel column. The column, and then each column, we for name column we have name, hash password column we have hash password, register date column we have register date, register time column we have register time. This is what my Excel sheet format for saving register user entry. Simple. Then if os path dot exist, if os path dot exist, and then simply we will mention register underscore CSV file. Now what we will do, where we want to save our data, we want to save our data in register file. So this is what our register file variable, we mention here register file variable. This variable represent our register user CSV file, as simple as. So here if os path dot exist, our register file CSV variable, and then we can simply say if the file is there, existing data pd.read underscore CSV. This is how we read CSV Excel sheet using pandas. So pd.read CSV and mention the file name, file variable. Then if name in existing data means if the name is already available, means let's just say I have mentioned the freedom check and I have registered, and again I am trying to register, so it is basically the error, we want to show the error. So for that we mention here if name is already available in our Excel. So if name is in existing data, then the name, the column which we mention here, the name column dot values, means from the name column we need the values. So after that, this is for cross check if the user is already registered. So if the user is already registered, it will check with this if condition, and then we want to show the error. So message box, again message box dot show error, message box dot show error, then the error, and the user is already exist. As simple as. It is really easy. User is already exist. Why? Because we are create here a condition. Please cross check if the user is already registered. If the user is already registered, then we can simply generate the error with the help of our message box from Tkinter, then return. Else simply we can say user data pd.concat, and then existing data, this variable existing data, and the user data, existing data and the user data, ignore index, simple. Then user data to CSV, user underscore data dot to CSV, we will mention the register file name, and index is equal to false. Now we save their name and their password. After that we want to capture their face. So for that simply we will use cap is equal to cv2.video capture and the index number of camera. This is how we call our web camera. So cap is equal to cv2.video capture, and then we want to show the message. What is the message? I want to show the message If user want to save the image, user need to press S button from keyboard. So message box dot show info, info is the message box name, then press S to save your face image or Q to quit. Simple. Then while loop, we will start the while loop for capturing the face. Red frame cap dot read. This is what our simple method for running the web camera in while loop. So red frame, then if not red, break c2 im show. This is what my window name and the frame. Then c2 dot wait key method, and then as we mentioned the condition, as we mentioned here, what if the user press S. So if key is equal to ORDS, this is how we mention the key, we assign the key. So if key is equal to ORDS from the keyboard, face image path, means when user press S button, we want to simply use os.path.join method, os.path.join. Then here we want to mention our folder where we want to save our images, so the folder variable. And what is image name? Image name is basically the name, image name is basically the name which user mentioned, and .jpg is the extension for saving image. So basically my image name is username with .jpg. Let's just say if I register as a freedom tech, so my user image is basically freedom tech.jpg. This is what my image inside our folder for my registration. Simple. So name.jpg, then we will write the image. So for that c2.imwrite, this is how we write the image, we save the image. c2.imwrite method, face image path, where we want to save image, because when we write the image we want to mention where we want to save the image and the frame. So this is what our variable which represent known face dir, and then the format for saving the name. So face image path and the frame, as simple as. And then of course we want to show the message. What is the message? Success, you successfully register, and mention the name, the user name, and registration completed. Done. Then break, and elif key is equal to ord quit, q from q break. Then cap.release c2.destroy all windows, and name entry delete, password entry delete 0 end. This is what basically when we register our name. So after that we want to remove the old entry from basically the app, from the app. You will get the idea. Let me show you here. So this is what our registration function. So we have done with registration function. Then we will create the Tkinter window, because this is not basically main window. This is what our another window when we create a main window, and on the main window we have register button. So when user click on the register button, it will open basically new window for register. So this is what a new window for register. So reg underscore window, register window is equal to top level, then register window dot title. This is what my window title, app title. Then reg window, register window dot geometry, 400 width, 300 height. Then the label, this is how we mention the label for Tkinter. So label is equal to register window, text, enter name, and dot pack is equal to 10, paddy is equal to 10. Simple. Then the name entry is equal to entry, and we want to mention our register window variable, and then name entry dot paddy is equal to 5, label same way which we mention for enter name, same way we will mention for enter password. So window text is equal to enter password dot paddy 10, as you can see, same way. Then password entry is equal to entry, then register window, and show, we want to show the password in star format. So this is how we will mention show star, and the password entry dot paddy is equal to 5. Then the button, so button is basically for capturing face. So again window name, text, capture face, command, function, capture face function, and dot paddy is equal to 20. Simple. So this is what our capture face. And then here at the end At the end, this is what our main application. So main application app is equal to tk app.title. This is what our main window title. Then app.geometry 600 and 500 is the height. Then this is what our register button, as you can see, this is what our register button, app text register text. Command is basically now register user function, register user function. Simple. So let me show you only register part, then we will go for login part. So if I start the code, so as you can see, as I mentioned, this is what our main window. So main window is basically over here at the end. So this is what our main application. So this is what my main application. So main application name is, as you can see, face recognition attendance system, and on main application we mention the register button, register. Simple. So when I click on this register button, so it will open this window. So this window is basically this one which we mention in register function. Let me minimize this. So this is the window. When we click on our main window, main window register button, it will open this window. So this window we mention here, this window. This Tkinter window is basically this. Here it is, as you can see, register user, name is register user, and then we have enter name field, then we have enter password field, and button is basically, as you can see, button is basically capture face. Now we can simply register as a new user. So let's just say I will mention my name, then the password. So here it is, as you can see, password is in star format. Why? Because we mentioned the show password in star format. If you remove this show, then it will show number or any alphabet, but we don't want to show the number and alphabet. So for that we want to mention show and the format. So star is there. Now simply if I click on capture face, it will show the message. What is the message? Press S for save the image, which we mention here. As you can see here, this is the message, and the message window name is basically info, and S to save and Q to quit. Now simply click on OK. It start our camera. I will press S, face image save for the name of user, registration completed. Click on OK. Done. So now if I just close all the windows, this is the main window, and if I open here our repository, this is what our repository, and inside that, as you can see, we have our folder and the image name. As I mentioned, image name is basically the user register name and .jpg, and this is what my image, as you can see. And here also we have the CSV file, and inside that we have my name, the column name and the name entry. Then we have here column hash password, and as you can see, the password in hash format because we create the function. And then we have here register date column and date, and then we have here register time column and the time. As simple as done. So this is how we will register. Now we want to go for new function. So our next function is basically log event. So log event is basically the user name and their action. Username means, let's just say Freedom Tech want to log in. So it, of course, I will mention the name and the password, and I will choose if I want to log in or if I log out. So login or log out is basically my action for dedicated name. So log event, and inside that we will pass the name, the user name and their action. Action is basically login or log out. As simple as. So log event is basically the username and their action, maybe login or log out. Then here also we want to mention now is equal to datetime.now, date is equal to now.strftime, year, month, date, this is the format. Then time is equal to now.strftime, hours, minute, second. Then log data is equal to pd.dataframe. Here again, how do we want to mention the log event? So we want to mention the log event name, name, date, time and the action, because we want to know when what user means which user. So user name is there, what time, what date and what is the action. So name, date, time and action, and same way the column name, name, date, time, action, action. So we can simply say, if I want to mention in simple language, this is what my row, this is what my Excel row. So name is there, date is there, time is there and action is there. So this is what my column for name, Excel sheet name, and the name column name, username, date column user date, user login date or logout date, then the time, and then the action is basically login or logout. Then if os path.exit log csv file, so our log csv file variable is basically login or logout underscore logs.csv file. Simple. So if os.path.exit log underscore csv file, then we will simply mention existing logs, pd.read csv log csv file. This is how we will read our csv file. Then log data is equal to pd.concat existing logs and log data, existing log variable and log data variable. Ignore index is equal to true, then log underscore data dot to underscore save, we want to mention our file, and index dot false. It is same way which we mention for register, same way here it is. As you can see, the format is basically same. That's it. It is really easy. Done. So this is how we will mention our log event. Then now our next function is basically the login user. So for login user, of course, first we want to mention the name and the password. So we will mention name here, name underscore entry underscore login dot get. Then same way password is equal to password underscore entry underscore login dot get. Then if not name or not password, means if the name and password is not available, then simply we will show the message name and password are required. Means we can simply say, if user tried to log in without mentioning their name and password, we want to generate the error name and password are required, as simple as. Then of course hash password, password our function which we create here hash password. Simple. So we want to mention that function over here, hash password. Then if os.path exists, register csv file. If the file is available, so our file name is register csv file. So when basically user want to log in, what is our goal? We want to cross check the user login name and the password from our register file. Then only we can allow the user to log in. If let's just say user is not available in register file, so it will show the error. First you have to register, or we can say there is no user available for in basically the register csv file. Simple. So for that we want to check the data when user basically log in. So we want to check the data from our register file. For that, if os path exists, our register csv file user df, this is just a variable. Again we will read the file. So pd.read csv file, we will read the register file. Then user row. So what we want, as I mentioned, user row. So user row means from Excel sheet which row we want to read. We want to read the username and the password for login entry. So users df, this users df is represented our pd.read csv, means it's reading the data from our Excel sheet. So we want, if I want to get the data, so I need to mention this variable, because this variable is reading my data using pd.read underscore csv method, as simple as. So pd.read underscore csv, so then user underscore row users df, this is users df, and what we want to read, we want to read their name, because when user want to log in, user will mention their name and their password. So we want to read their name. So name is basically our column which we have inside our register. Here as you can see, the name is column which we mention in a register CSV file. And then also we want to mention in login, we want to mention hash password. So name is basically name entry and hash password is basically hash password entry from our register CSV file. Done. So then if not user row empty, if user row is not empty, then now we will cross check user face using face recognition. So for that, known faces and known names, this is list. Inside that list we will save the encodings and the user names. So for file name in OS list dir and known face dir. Simple. So here what we will do, we want to save the names inside these known names. So how do we get names? So for that we will use our folder. Let me show you here. If I open our repository, this is our folder. Inside that folder we have user images. So our user images is basically the user name and .jpg. So here the known names, for known names we will use this image name. So for that, from our folder, so here I have mentioned the known face dir. So from this folder we will only use the username. So how do we know that the username is there? So for that we mention here file name which ends with .jpg. For file name in OS list dir, known face dir, and then we mention if the file name ends with .jpg extension. If the file names end with a .jpg extension, then we will move for next method. So image is equal to face recognition dot load image file os dot path join. Again we want to mention our folder name because inside that folder we have our images. So for face recognition dot load image file we will use os dot path dot join method. Then we will mention our folder name and then the file name, this file name. And now we want to save the encoding. So encoding is equal to again face recognition dot face encodings, and then we will pass our image, and this is the method. For encoding. Then known faces dot append. Now we want to append our list. So known faces is basically now our encoding. Known faces dot append. We will save these encodings inside this known faces list. Then known names dot append file name. From this file name, as I mentioned, we only need the username, we don't need .jpg. So for that we will use here .split method, and it will split the name with dot, because we don't want .jpg, we only want username. So for that we mention here file name .split the method, and this is the full method for splitting, for getting only the name basically. Done. So after that we have done. Now we have done with mentioning the name and the encoding inside our list. Now we want to call our camera. So cap is equal to cv2.video capture. This is the index number of web camera. Then message box dot show info. This is the message name, message window name, and this is the message which we want to show. Looking for your face logging. Simple. Then while true, then this is basic method. This is how we call our web camera, read frame cap dot read. If not read, break. Then we want to convert RGB frame. So frame, and this is the method. This is the method for face recognition. Simple. Face locations is equal to face recognition dot face location. Now we want to find the face location. So we will find the face location from our RGB frame. Then face encodings. This is the live frame. Means when user login, user will mention their name, their password, and then it will start the camera. it will start the camera. So this is what basically our live frame. So from live frame, now again from live frame we need user encoding. So face recognition dot face encodings, RGB frame and face locations. Then simply we call for loop. So for top, right, bottom, left, face encoding in zip, face locations and face encodings, this face location and this face encodings. Now we want to match the current user, means the live frame, along with the images which we save. Means here inside this list we have already saved user images encodings, face encodings. So now we want to match these encodings with the current user which tried to log in. So we will match these encodings with this live frame encodings, simple. So for that, matches is equal to face recognition dot compare. We will compare both faces, means the live frame face and the face image which already we save inside our folder. Images save, and we save the face encodings from the folder in this list, known faces. So known faces is basically our encoding, as you can see, encoding with the help of face recognition. Simple. So here matches is equal to face recognition dot compare faces. As you can see, the known faces, which is our save images faces from this known faces encodings, and we will match this with live face encoding. So this is what my live face encoding, because this face encoding is basically live frame face encodings and their face location. As you can see, face location and face encodings, as simple as. So now if the user match, the result is basically true or false. So we don't want to go with false, we only need a true. So if this true in this matches, then the match index is equal to the matches dot index true. Simple. Then match name is just a variable. Known names, which is our again list. Inside that list we have all the user names from our folder here. Known names dot append file name dot split. This is the method. Simple. So inside this known names list we have all the user names from our folder. Simple. So now we want to mention the index. So known names, the list, and the match index is basically the index. Simple. Then if match name is equal to name, log event match name, and what is event? So the event is login, because user is trying to log in. So event is basically the login, and we will simply create the message box dot show info success welcome match name, welcome, and the username which user try to log in. Let's just say if I try to log in as a freedom tech, so it will show welcome freedom tech. Simple. Then cap.release c2.destroy all window, and then again we will delete the entry, because we don't want to set the entry. You will get the idea basically what is this. When user mention the name and their password, so it will automatically remove that entry when user successfully log in from the field, basically from app field. That's it. Then cap.release c2.destroy all windows for the while loop, and then the message box show error. So here in login we have basically three conditions: face not recognized, the first condition, then the invalid name or password condition, and then not register user found condition. So we want to mention all this error like this way. If face not recognized means user want to set the position perfect. That's why if the user not set the position perfect, or let's just say camera is not working, so face not recognized. Or let's just say if user tried to mention any invalid name or password, so invalid name or password. Or let's just say a user is not registered and it's trying to log in, so no register user found. First user will register, user want to register. So this is the error. So this is basically our login. So now I will start the code, and here So this is what our function, and at the end we want to generate our app. So here it is, as you can see, this is what my login section for Tkinter. So label app, this is what our app, label app, text, enter name to login dot pack paddy10, then name entry login entry app, name entry underscore login dot pack paddy is equal to 5. Then same way for the password, then button, the button is basically login button, and the command means the function. So function is basically our login user with 20 dot pack paddy10. Simple. If I start the code now, I have already registered, so I will simply mention here, this is what our login section. As you can see, enter name to login, then enter password, and then we have here login button login, and this login button connect with our login function. So name, I will mention the name which I have used for register, and then I will simply mention the password, click on login, looking for your face recognition, which we mention as a message in our login. Here, as you can see, info is the window name. So this is what my message box window. So info is the window name, and this is the message. As you can see, looking for your face to login means now user want to set their position in front of camera. So if I click OK, it will check, and now as you can see, I have the entry match, the face match, and then it say welcome and my name. Click on OK, done. Now if I open the folder, go back, here it is, as you can see, login logout, new file, and inside that file here you will get the login username, login user date, login user time, and action. So what is my action? Login is the action. For each date, for each time you will get the entry. Simple. Close it. Now same way, I will minimize, because the same function, same way we will mention the logout user. Only here we want to mention the logout. Simple. All the way function is basically the same. And then the button logout section, here it is what our logout section. Done. Now we have our application already run. Now simply I will mention logout. So again I will mention my name, then the password, and then if I click on logout, looking for your face, it will capture the face, and goodbye, and the username. Click on OK, done. If I go here, inside that file logon logout, now as you can see, we have now new entry for logout with the username. Done. So this is how our application works. So we have done with our application. I have mentioned the full code. Now we want to create this application as a setup.exe file. So for that we need PyInstaller. So let's just open our Thony Python IDE, go to the run, then let's just go with tools first, open system shell, and it will open our shell with our current directory. As you can see, the Tkinter face reco appmin, and here simply we will run the command pip3 install PyInstaller, pip3 install PyInstaller. This is what the package, just hit enter. It will install PyInstaller package on our Windows machine for Thony Python IDE. So as you can see, requirement is already satisfied because I have already installed the PyInstaller package. So we have done. Now simply what we will do here, we want to create our installer. So for that, what we will do, we will simply create here a folder basically. So create a new folder, and let's just mention here app, and inside this app we will basically save final.py code. This is what our main code. So just copy it and paste inside our app folder. Now here, because we create the new folder, so we are inside our main folder. Let's just mention plus cls. Let's just clear the window. the cmd, and then we will simply mention cd and app. This is the new folder, and inside that we have our final.py code. So now here we want to run the command with the help of py installer. So command is like this way: py installer space hyphen hyphen py installer space hyphen hyphen one file space hyphen w, and mention the file name, which is final.py, and then just hit enter. Now as you can see, it started to creating basically the files for setup.exe. So it will take some time. Meanwhile, I will pause video. So friends, as you can see, our process is completed successfully. And now if you go here in downloads, and we have our Tkinter folder, then we have our app folder. So inside that, as you can see, we have these files. So what we want to do, we want to open this file spec. Let's just open the file spec, and then inside our repository, I have already mentioned the file spec file. So let's just open this file spec. So what we want to do, we want to remove the code from this file spec which generated. So let's just remove all these things, just remove it, delete, file, save, and copy paste the file spec which I have mentioned inside repository. So inside repository, I have already mentioned the file spec file. We want to simply copy paste all the data as it is. Just copy paste and mention inside the file spec which we now generated, just paste it, click on save, done, all the close. Now again we will run the command. So open our shell, and we will run the command like this way: py installer, let me clear first cls, py installer space hyphen w, and this time we will mention our final spec file which we change, final spec. So py installer space hyphen w space final spec, and hit enter. Now let me check here. I think final spec, I think there is no need to mention w. So py installer, and we will simply mention final spec. Yes, there is no need to mention a w, so mention the py installer command and final.spec file. Simple. Now again it will take time. Now meanwhile I will pause video. So friends, our process is completed. As you can see, completed successfully. Now we have our setup file. So if I go here in downloads, our repository, again same folder, and then we created app folder. Inside that we have here dist folder, and as you can see, final.exe. So this is what my setup file for application, and I have already tested in my other Windows computer. Simple. So now if you want to use this application in any other computer, you need to simply copy paste this final.exe in pen drive, and then just connect the pen drive in any other computer and just run the final.exe. Your application will be run on that computer. So what I will do, I will simply copy the application, and in downloads I will create here new folder, let's just say, and I will say my app face, and here I will paste that setup.exe file. Simple. And then I will run the setup.exe file, and then as you can see, we have our application ready. So here when the application run, first it will automatically create the folder, because there is no folder where we want to save our images. So let me show you here. Register, simply we will mention the name. So I will mention here freedom tech, password, capture face, okay, camera will start, yes, done. Then login name, freedom tech, password, login, okay, done, welcome and username, then log out same way, then enter password, log out, click on OK. Now we log out, simple. And then here it is, as you can see, we have our both file. Inside that file we have also entries, login logout entry and register user entry, simple. So we successfully create our application, we convert that application into setup.exe file. Now we want our agent. So I have already created the agent in last video where we have a counter for cattle, simple. So we will use a same agent. If you don't know how to create or how to install all these packages, simply watch my previous video. So here in Tkinter I have mentioned the requirements.txt also, as you can see. So what we will do, we have here our let me open Python IDE, and then we will go in run tools and open system shell. So this is what our folder where we have our requirements.txt. So let's just say pip3 install space -r and requirements.txt, just hit enter. It will install all the packages which we want. So we have done with package installation. So now for agent we need Grok Cloud key and we need Gemini API key. So let's just start with Gemini API key. So friends, as you can see here, I have mentioned Gemini Developer API, Gemini Free API, Gemini Developer API. Just click on it and it will open a Gemini Free API. You need to simply log in with your Gmail ID. So this is what their page. Click on Gemini API, then get Gemini API key, and then I have already created one, so I will delete that one. So just delete it. Then create API key. Then here we want to simply mention any name, so mention any name. I have mentioned Freedom Tech Google, and click on just create API. It will create or it will generate the API key. So this is what key. Simply click on copy and open our let's just say go back, or this is what our main folder, and here I will create new and the text document, mention the key and key txt, and this is what my Gemini key, start with A. So start with A is basically our Gemini API key. Save it. So we have done with Gemini. Now we need our Grok Cloud. So friends, this is what our Grok Cloud. Let's just click on Grok Cloud. Here also you need to simply sign in with your Gmail ID. So then API key, and then here I have already created one, so I will delete this and create API key, mention any name. I will mention Freedom Tech. Click on here verify you are human, click on submit. Then this is what key, copy the key, and we will mention our key in our key text file. So as you can see, the Gemini API key is basically start along with G. Save it and then just click on done. Don't mention the same keys because I will remove these keys. You need to create your own keys for Gemini and Grok Cloud. Remember these things. Simple. So we have our keys now. So now simply this is what our agent code. Just open it with Python IDE, and here I will remove my old keys. So I will remove my old keys and I will mention here my new keys. So this is what our Gemini API key, just copy and paste it, Gemini API key, and this is what our Grok Cloud key, copy it, and here Grok Cloud key, done. Save it. Now we want to run our Streamlit application. So because we already installed the packages, so we have now Streamlit. So here we have in same folder, here let's just run CLS and we will run our Streamlit. So Streamlit run, and our file name is basically csvagent.py. CSV, press tab button, autocomplete the file name, hit enter. Streamlit, I think there is typo mistake. Streamlit. If I hit enter, so as you can see, this is what IP address, and it will automatic open with Internet Explorer. So it's, as you can see, it's automatically open our application. Now browse file and I will go here in downloads, Tkinter, and this is what our two files, one is login and one is register. So I will upload both file, click on open, and as you can see we upload the both file. So the file which you want to select, you can simply select here any file. We have here login logout file, also we have here register file. So let's just say first select the register file, and then the option you can go with hash password, register date, and all these things, simple. And here we have also date, simple. So date, we selected here date, we have here calendar also, you can select as per date. So current date we have only one entry, so current date is enough. Now here I can simply ask what query can I ask related to this data, and if I hit enter, it will show what kind of query I can ask. So based on this I can suggest the following query: what is the identity of the person in basically timestamp data, or you can simply mention you mention the username. So let's just say here let's just say what is the register user name, what is the register user, what is register user name, and if you hit enter, it will generate the answer, and answer is based on the provider context. As you can see, the username and register name, let me check here. It is not register username because we have only name. So what is the name? What is name? If I hit enter, as you can see, based on the context, the name is Sanket Prabhu. So this is what the name, and now I can simply say here today date. So I will simply mention the date. So date format is like this way: first we want to mention year, then I will mention month, and then the date, and I will mention username. Hit enter, and there is no question provided to context. Okay, because there is no username, friends, there is only name. So hit enter. As you can see, it's saying that this user is basically registered for this date. So you can mention any queries as per the data. I have here only one entry. Simple. In real scenario, we have lots of user register in each day. So you can access any particular user name. Simple. So now if I go here and if I mention our login logout, so here simply I can mention let's just say login time for the username. So I will mention the username, login time for username. So I have mentioned the username. According to data, the login time for username is basically the date and the time is there. Simple. So this is how you can use AI agent for queries. This is what your own chat GPT, or you can say this is what your own chat bot. I have mentioned the full code. So this is it for today. We create our application with the help of Tkinter. We convert the application into a setup.exe file. Then we have our own agent. So you can simply upload the files and you can ask any queries related to your data. I hope you will learn something from this video. We'll meet our next video. Till then, thank you, take care, and bye bye.